So I've got some good news. The Westpac Melbourne Institute Index of Consumer Sentiment lifted by 3.9%, from 81.2 to 84.4. That was a surprising result given that rates went up again in the month and given that we're still being hit by these higher inflation pressures. However, what we have to remember is that level of 80 is a real floor for the index. We've really only seen it fall sustainably below 80 during periods of deep recessions in the early 90s and the more shallow recession in the early 80s. But at that time, confidence around the labour market was very different to what it is today. Our index of confidence in the labour market is now 60% higher than it was in those periods when unemployment was going to around 11%. So I can understand why it hasn't fallen any further, but I don't think we should see it as the beginning of a rebound. We saw confidence around the housing market in particular lift. So the question is now a good time to buy a dwelling, lifted by 2.3%, and the outlook for house prices actually lifted by 3.6% after having fallen for the previous 6 months. It's now a little bit above 100, so what it's saying is that nationally, people are more optimistic than pessimistic than they are about the outlook for house prices. And the really interesting aspect of that was that in the state of New South Wales, which has been one of the states that has been most badly affected at this stage, confidence up 6%, in Victoria up 33%, but in Queensland and Western Australia that have so far had only mild price corrections, their confidence fell by 13% in each case. So housing looking a little better, but I think the main message is that we've hit a bottom we've hit a historical bottom barrier in confidence, and I'm not expecting this to be evidence that we're going to see consumer sentiment bouncing strongly from this point. Thank you very much.